Hi, this is eebtarot, to E's and a B tarot. I'll be reading for the sign of Libra. It's timeless and whatever comes up. If the reading resonates, let me know in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe. I've already pre-shuffled the deck. Some of these cards are a little crazy in their illustrations, so I may be able to show them to you, I may not, depending. So what came out kind of laxed a little bit, but still present, is the Page of Wands and the Three of Swords, but in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles. Libra. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Underneath that is a card that I'm not going to show you, which is the Three of Cups, but the illustration's a little crazy, so you don't have to trust me. So right now, Libra, I think that you are in a space where you are moving on to something, like you're, whether this is the way you are addressing how you're approaching your finances or how you're approaching a person. I'm going to get into the Three of Swords, but just to get a clear line of thought for the Page of Wands. You're being mindful of how you proceed, the moves you make, the steps you take. Like it's mindful. Even if you don't necessarily see the full depth of the step, you're still mindful. You're poised in your approach. With the Three of Swords in reverse, I would most likely connect this to something where in the past you may have been triggered to take this kind of approach because of a betrayal or a significant loss that devastated you. But because it's in the reverse, I don't think this is you being mindful of how you step because you are being triggered from past trauma or past experiences. I think this is just something that you've learned is this is business. This is not personal. I'm not in my feelings about it. This is just the wisest, most logical way to proceed with poise and precision. With the Six of Pentacles, you clearly are in a position where you have something to offer. And it's desirable to those other than yourself. But even what you're offering is not the full extent of what you have or what you're capable of providing. But it seems like if the person that you're dealing with or the situation you're dealing with, let's say that, okay, you're no longer living in the past hurt of a situation, a relationship that fell apart, right? You're not in your feelings about it. You've moved on. But you do move different, or you do move in a particular way that is conducive to a person who has learned and grown, right? Now moving on from that relationship, because there are things you grew and learned from, whether it be emotionally, mentally, or financially, like you were able to leave that behind you and consistently growing in your abundance, right? Or at least in maintaining the abundance you had while in the relationship in some way, shape, or form. But now moving forward, the way that you maneuver with other relationships, you're willing to offer, but not necessarily giving insight into the full depth of what you have, the amount of resources you have, and whether you're not interested in filling the table with all of the resources, right? Just what is needed and what is most comfortable for you. And I think if somebody is like, if something about a situation seems too eager, I think it gives you even more pause to offer less, with the anticipation of possibly taking a step back from it if that feeling continues. You know what I mean? It also is important with the Queen of Pentacles to understand that regardless of what outward perceptions are, it would be wise to those interacting with the Libra to know that you may, even if you got your focus on them or they're within your sight, you still got a perfectly good eye on your business and what you've established. So like there's no confusion. You're not to be distracted. You're not to be defaulted. I can't show you the bottom of the deck, but it's the World. You have the Magician, but that came in reverse. The Emperor, the Tower, and the Chariot. Like I said, the World at the bottom of the deck, and the Three of Pentacles underneath that, which again, I can't show you because of the illustration and YouTube policy. So Libra, these are, when I was pulling for more cards, it was just, my mindset was just more so clarity and confirmation for what we've already seen. And yeah, there was some significant shift, clearly with the Tower, the World, the Chariot, right? The Chariot comes when there has been a very long, tumultuous and gut-wrenching, like you had to give your blood, sweat, and tears to get through these challenges. But it's also the arrival of your success, the final, the reward and the prestige and the significance of withstanding and outlasting that kind of journey, right? So the Magician in reverse with the Emperor, it's like you are in a stable position to call the shots and give autonomy to your own life. You're not answering to anybody. The Emperor doesn't answer to anybody. The people answer to the Emperor. And the Magician is an alchemist. They pull from all resources and elements to be able to create anything. But in the reverse, that's typically used in a malicious or unhealed place. Hold on, let me just... Bottom of the deck, High Priestess. Okay. I can't show you either one of these cards. It was the Three of Pentacles that was on the bottom of the deck underneath. The World, I think, and the Lovers. I can't show you those, but so it's interesting that the Three of Swords is in reverse, and then you have when I was asking, like, so what's the significance? Clearly there was a major shift and an end to a past situation or relationship, and now you've moved forward in it, and it's allowing you to expand on your intuitive gifts in terms of how you view people, how you read a room, what you're assessing someone's intentions are, and feeling confident and comfortable in engaging with them with no loss to you, right? But with the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles, I'm just trying to make sense of the Magician. So maybe this is more so not a distinction of where you are, Libra, but more so a friendly reminder that if that is the case, if you're not moving in a way that is from an unhealed or trauma responsive or a triggered place, all those buzzwords, right? If you're not operating and building from that place and instead from a higher vibrational place, and you are truly healed, not that you're perfect, Libra, but that your intention is to move forward and move past things that were toxic and were only done with nasty intention or reactionary, right? Even if your intention wasn't to be nasty, it was like you felt like you did what you had to do because of what was done to you, right? I feel like this is letting you know that because that is now no longer the space you're in and you're able to continue to grow, then do that stay in that high vibrational energy. Don't fall into a lustful space that will only make you paranoid. No, it was the Three of Cups that I couldn't show you. That was at the bottom of the deck. Three of Pentacles. So yeah, that balance, Libra. Back to that balance. Like because you already understand something, you understand the logistics of it. And this is not you analyzing this from an overly stimulated emotional place. Don't make excuses for yourself or other people, and also don't be reactionary to things that only give you the illusion. Again, Magician in reverse, the illusion of something that was past, but it's not really what is present. It's not factual. You can't cherry pick when you're going to apply the logic and leave the emotional side out of it. You know what I mean? Because lustful energy is also emotional. Paranoia is also emotional. You know what I mean? You can be mindful of your steps without watching every step or watching every step of another person. And then pretending like you're not. Okay, that was your reading, Libra. If it resonates, like, share. We have also Gemini, Aries, Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Yeah. Pisces. Okay. If it resonates, let me know in the comments section. Hit the like button, subscribe. Until next reading, be well, be blessed. Thank you.